welcome to Twitching in the Kitchen, where I'm in the kitchen and I'm twitching. Fair warning though, guys. I'm sorry in advance if there's any new language or gestures or swears. It's kind of started happening a couple months ago, which is why I haven't made videos. It's gone down a little bit, along with some of my speech issues are getting better. They started a couple months ago, which is why I only posted the one video. But they're getting better, so hopefully there'll be more. Today we're going to be making my bread rolls, which are amazing. My family is using them for fried chicken sandwiches tonight, which are gonna be fantastic. Very unhealthy, but very tasty. So let's get started. So first thing you're gonna do is get a cup of hot water, exactly a cup. The recipe is down in, the link to the recipe is gonna be down in the description. And you're just gonna add about a tablespoon of honey to the hot water and your yeast. I'm using just one packet, but if you have like a jar of yeast, use about 1.5 teaspoons. Currently I'm using active yeast. I've used brewer's yeast before. They all kind of work, so just use what you got. And we're just gonna let that set that aside and let it feast on the honey. And while we let that do that, oh, I spilled some. We're gonna make all of our dry ingredients, which is gonna be fun. So we need 1.5 cups of flour. I don't have a lot of flour right now. Otherwise I usually make a double batch, just because you make a little bit more and these take forever to make. You're going to start with your 1.5 cups of flour, and then we're going to get our 2 tablespoons of milk powder. So milk powder comes in a lot of different forms. Currently I have unflavored, unsweetened creamer. It works. There's not much of a difference that I've noticed. So, you know, just make sure it's unsweetened and unflavored before you use it. And actually this is a non-dairy product, so dairy free. Makes it easy. You're just gonna do 2 tablespoons right in. And what's the next thing? Teaspoon of baking powder. And a teaspoon of xanthan gum. Hiding my dirty cabinets from you guys by having all my ingredients out. So, you know, they are organized. It's just kind of tired organization, but it works. I know where things are. So, you know where things are in your kitchen. That's a good thing. If you don't know where things are, you're screwed. And then we need some salt. 3/4 teaspoon of salt. Teaspoon of salt. Teaspoon of salt. Give it a little bit more flavor. It's fine. then we're just gonna mix that up. Fuck off! Where's my pen? Here's my pen. Yeah, I totally got my thing. And we're just gonna mix that up a little bit. Let's combine. Doesn't take long. You can do this all by hand, but it's easier in the mixer. And I don't really have the control to do that right now, so it's all good. Yeah. So while we wait for that to move, right there, we're just gonna put things away. We're gonna throw things, stab people. It's all good. And this recipe contains no eggs, no gluten, and well, I do use butter in it, so there's a little bit of dairy, but you could totally use oil in it and make it dairy-free too. Which if you make it dairy-free, then it's technically vegan, so, you know, totally covering all the bases. Yeah. So I have a lined cookie sheet right here. I forgot the plastic wrap. One second. I have a cookie sheet lined with this nifty silicone mat. If you don't have a silicone mat, they don't really stick anyway, but it's just a little extra protection so they don't stick. You don't have to do it. You don't need to grease your pan either. If you don't have it lined, it's fine. They won't stick. If you do wind up with them sticking, then yeah, go for it and grease your pan. But no, they don't really need it. So yeah. And the cool thing with this recipe is you can put in things like garlic and onion and pepper and all kinds of different seasonings to make different flavored rolls. You could add more honey and make it a sweet roll, or you could do everything roll with some sesame and some garlic and some onion in there. Actually, in January I'm coming out with a roll for that, and everything roll, which will be on the blog January 2021. So yeah. Yeah. So you want your yeast to kind of be bubbly. See that? See that foam? See how like bubbly that is? Yeah, it looks like it's kind of moldy or fermented or something. Kind of looks like it went bad. That's what you want. And then we're just going to add this to our flour. Not all of it. I'm going to turn it up. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of softened butter. Little chunks. About right. A little extra butter's not gonna hurt you. A little extra oil, that'll kill you. But a little extra butter's not bad. And then you want this to see how it's like light and it's fluffy and it's stretchy. Look at that. You know, but it's not sticking to me. That's what you want. That's the perfect bread dough. So now we're just gonna with our hands and take this down. Boop, bop, moo. Fuck off! Yeah. Not having a good day is when I first my first video. But that's okay. I've been struggling with my speech for the past couple months. I have days where I can't speak at all, or my speech is very slurred and it sounds almost like baby babble. It's not really good for filming videos. But my voice, we've been working on, and I got my meds switched, so my voice has been getting better, and my ability to speak has been getting better, which is really what we wanted. So, yeah, we're just gonna put this whole thing, scrape it out. It shouldn't be sticking to the bowl too much either. Like, look at that. That looks beautiful. It's perfect. So we're just gonna slap it up. And you're gonna slap it. Yeah! Fuck off! Yeah. And you're gonna want to kind of make it into a square so you can divide it up pretty evenly. If you have a family or you go through a lot of bread, I would recommend, making a double or a triple batch. I made double batch for Thanksgiving, and it made about, I want to say 24 rolls that were about this big. So, and they're delicious. You're gonna go through them crazy. So you're just gonna spread it around, spread. Make it into an almost square kind of a thing for it to really work. It makes it easier to portion out. And then I'm just gonna divide it into even little squares. So see that? Like tic-tac-toe with your dough. They'll fluff up. I know they look tiny right now, but they'll fluff up. And you'll see that later when I show you guys. So I'm just gonna wet my hands and portion this out. I wet my hands to make sure that I don't dry out the dough by touching it. And it keeps it from sticking to my hands and my hands getting all nasty too. So, yeah. If you got one that's a little bit bigger and one that's a little smaller, just kind of eyeball it. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. It's probably better if it's exactly the same, but I don't have a kitchen scale and that's not happening. So you're just gonna roll it and make little balls. See? Little balls. They're cute and they're squishy and shit. Don't do that. You can do that. That works. So yeah, you're just gonna keep rolling them, and if your hands start to get sticky, wet it again. Wet. Don't flour it; it becomes really dry and really tough. The more moisture you have, I found the more fluffy they get. So that one's really tiny. This one's kind of big. So we're just gonna steal some of your body fat and put it on you. You're a bit fat too. That works. Now, it shouldn't take you forever to make the dough. And really, this is one of those recipes where you can like make the dough and set it and then go take a nap. Because they need to rise for an hour or more if you want them really fluffy. So I've made them and I've gone and taken a 2-hour nap and then they've been fine. They've been delicious and fluffy and golden brown and beautiful. they are gonna puff up quite a bit. So you kind of want them a little bit away from each other, inch or two maybe more. If they do fluff up too much, they're gonna touch each other, and then you're gonna have them all stuck together when you bake them, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but they kind of look prettier when they're not touching each other when you bake them. So, aesthetics. And then after that, I'm just gonna rinse my hands really quick because I have butter all over my fingers. Fuck off! And then we're gonna cover it with saran wrap and place it on the stove. So. Then we're gonna go and we're gonna place it on the stove. Just right there, and then they're going to sit and they're going to rise and they're going to be beautiful. So I'm gonna do a cut now to when they're risen, and hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so I preheated my oven to 350, and these guys have been rising for just over an hour. So they've gotten quite a bit bigger than they used to be, if you guys can remember. And we're just gonna pop those into the oven, which might not be the safest thing to do for me, but it's fine. And we're gonna leave them in the oven for about 30 minutes, or until they turn a nice golden brown. Please ignore my trash can. Alright, so it's about 30 minutes later, and they're ready to come out. And see that? Isn't that look delicious? And they're nice and crunchy on the outside. I'll cut one open in a second. Yeah, really hot, like saying, but it's nice and hard on the outside, but on the inside they're nice and soft and oh fuck. Move. But on the inside, look at that. Look at how pretty that is. It's really hot, guys. Please don't do this. But they're really good. I'm totally gonna eat them. So, hope you guys enjoyed your rolls that you guys make, and see you guys on the next level.